An important feature of international joint venture is partner selection, and it doesn't take us much to understand why that is important. Firstly, in terms of partner selection, if we're going to, even if we have a project-based IJV, which has a limited timescale, that still has to be realised. That project has to be realised, and there's issues of trust that arise, and even if there's trust, there may be issues of compatibility. Are we really proper partners? Part of trust is often to do with an equity stake, where the provision of finance also indicates the commitment the parties have to seeing the IJV work. And of course, trust is also built as we have shared experiences in terms of the joint working. In terms of compatibility, then one of the things that we should perhaps think about is, well, if we're looking at partner, what criteria are we going to use to assess the compatibility and therefore give us a sense that there could be trust in this relationship? And one of the ways that all relationships work is that when two parties meet, party 1 and party 2, then there has to be some kind of mutual adjustment in relation to the differences that might exist. However, if the differences are too great, and we'll look at that, it may not be possible ever to build trust. But within that mutual adjustment, we can think about two typology where we have static criteria, if you like, those in the background that we have to deal with, and dynamic criteria, which is much more to do with the day-to-day interaction activities. So let's have a look at those. In terms of static criteria, then the key one, of course, is a culture. We'll be doing this in a future session, but it's worth remembering that culture operates at least at two levels. One's the organisational culture, and are these compatible? But also there is the national culture, and it is one of the reasons why, in terms of internationalisation and looking at it in terms of geographic diversification, often countries choose to go to countries that border with them, where the psychic distance is less than necessarily going to further afield where the psychic distance is greater. Of course, it's not quite about distance per se. We also discussed the role of colonialisation in the pattern of international business, and of course, if you are in the UK, then a psychic distance is quite small in relation to the USA, Australia, and certainly relatively close to also countries like India. There's strategic traits. Are you looking in general terms for the same thing, but is your strategy about market share? Is the strategy in terms of future success built around cost leadership, or would it be built around differentiation strategies? And one can see that if there's incompatibility, that can be problematic. Organisational traits, often related to human resource management policies. Are we compatible? And then financial traits. Do we have, for example, the same view when it comes to how we're going to finance the new international joint venture? So, static criteria, in a way, is another way of looking at it. Is we're looking for the similarities that exist between us. When we look at dynamic criteria, we are perhaps looking for a slightly different notion, and that's the notion of fit. So fit often isn't about similarity. So for example, if we look at resource complementarity, we're really looking for some kind of fit, which means that we can gain some synergies, we can do things together that we couldn't do by ourselves. We of course do need goal compatibility, and that fit is much more closely around to similarity. Commitment. All right, is there a fit there? Do we both are ready to put in the energy that's required to make this work? And then in terms of capabilities, similar to resource complementarity, do our capabilities match? And in certain areas are the same. For example, if we're going to look at something like research and development, can we bring in capable scientists, capable product developers, capable designers, and so on? So looking at that, we're looking for, in terms of partner selection, a combination of similarity and fit. And following on from that, what do actual companies say that they're looking for? Well, in terms of what a foreign partner is looking for from a local partner, can be seen in this list here. And the first part is all about knowledge of the locality. Right. It's absolutely critical for foreign partner to seek out a local partner who knows the country that they're entering. If not, then of course one could enter without having a local partner. They're also looking for provision of financing, and this relates to equity stakes in a future IJV. And as we have seen before, it's the aspect of an equity stake is equivalent to establishing the commitment and sharing of risk, which is an important feature of entering an IJV. And then finally, within the market itself, a local reputation and access to local markets. It's being able to have a local partner who already has some established mechanisms in distribution, retail sites, production facilities, or whatever they may be. So what does the local partner look for in a foreign partner? And what we see here is a number of different things. The first to process technology and product technology is very much related to intellectual property rights. It's related to access to technology without requiring to undertake the cost of the R&D. So this is an important feature from a foreign partner. International representation, for example, in terms of brand, reputation, which gives confidence that in terms of any products that are produced by the IJV, they can build upon this brand, build upon the international reputation, just in the way that the foreign partners looking for the local reputation or access to local markets from the local partner. Provision of finance, we see this over and again, it's the equity stake. And finally, in terms of the foreign partner, management know-how, very much linked to issues of capability. For example, in terms of marketing, in terms of being able to provide some of the up-to-date management techniques and processes from which the foreign partner can learn, often again related to HRM policies. The other side of the coin, we've looked at what are the contributions, we've looked at the criteria for partner selection. Are there any other, and obviously the other side of the coin is that if we can't get compatibility, we have incompatibility, but is there any other particular kind of incompatibility we should be looking at? And one of the ways of looking at areas of incompatibility is to look at the goals that each party is wanting to achieve. Often these are likely to be not on the table. These are likely to be hidden agendas because these are the kind of goals that are likely to put off a partner and are likely to lead to failure in the short term. And there's three types of hidden agenda. Venturing, where it's about creating a new business, so it's really taking a chance but sharing the risk. Extractive, where one party through dealing with it in a negative reciprocal way, just trying to extract something from the other partner, resources, assets, competences, learning, and so on. And then the final one is that the goal is just opportunistic. It just so happens that companies either invest, government regulations might have changed. For example, deregulation in many markets led to a whole number of organisations going in, some of whom were going in for sound strategic reasons, others just because the opportunity existed. And we have Lasser and Schutt, who have given us a typology of the different types of the different interactions of the different goal incompatibility, which can come obviously from both the local partner and from the foreign partner. So you can have a look at it yourself. I mean, you can pause and look at it. I will actually look at one element. So if we take, for example, the extractive motive, where one partner is trying to gain from the other, and let's have a look at that in terms of both of those. In terms of the foreign partner, if they are looking to extract and they have a partner that's looking to extract, then it's in the short term. Both parties are gaining in the short term as they are learning, and once that learning period is over, the international joint venture is likely to fail. If the foreign partner is extractive but they have a local partner who's wanting to just build a new business, again, stable in the short term while the project gets off the ground, but potential conflicts arise quite quickly. The local partner is trying to build a new business, the foreign partner is just trying to extract. There's going to be a mismatch in terms of what each party is prepared to put in. And you can go through this yourself, and we will refer to this in the lesson as well.